Man, so Dre getting his settlement probably, you know what I'm saying, finally. That's like it's always a thing like when dudes see divorces end and they end messy and things of that nature, you always get women that say, why y'all niggas worried about like men's money, other men's money, and you know, he's married and he's a billionaire and y'all ain't got billions and y'all worried about another man's money. It's never really about the man's money. It's about the principle of what happens. Like, women always get to this point where it's like the 97% of the time where alimony is going in their favor, it's just never an issue. It's like you can't even bring that up because women are thinking like, oh, well, you shouldn't worry about that because you ain't got $1 million or you ain't got $1 billion or whatever. And it's never about the money. Like, if we look at it from a percentage standpoint, let's give Dre that, you know, 500 million or $1 billion. That's 10% of his money, 10% of his assets or whatever. You know what I'm saying? If he's at $1 billion and she got 100 million. My issue is that if you're a guy that makes 50,000, which is the average man in America, well, then 10% of that is not necessarily conducive to you having the lifestyle that you used to have. And I can tell you this, as a guy who got divorced and I wasn't a millionaire, there's no financial threshold that you graduate into alimony. Like, they can get alimony anyway, spousal support or anything. It doesn't take a certain amount. Alimony is just a line on your divorce papers, so that if you say, okay, cool, I want half of your pension, then they can get it. You know what I mean? And so that if you're living off of, you know, your pension eventually, well, half of that goes to her. Now, it's different if you're Dr. Dre and somebody takes half of your money, because even if you're a billionaire and she takes 500 million, well, you're not gonna miss no meals. But if you was a guy that worked at Ford and your Ford pension is coming, you know what I'm saying, and you're living off of that after you did all your time at your job, well, then that might be a different proposition, because it's not $1 billion. It's probably going to be something closer to the 50 or 60 that you were making while you were working for Ford. So half of that, you got to live half of the lifestyle that you were living, whereas Dre's probably not missing anything. So this is the point. The more money you make, the less it matters, because although the percentage may be the same, ultimately, there's only so much money you can make before it just gets ridiculous and you can't spend it in 2 or 3 generations. See, Dre has generational wealth. You know what I mean? So the idea that he has all this money and he's, you know what I'm saying, and we shouldn't worry about situations like that because you're not that rich, it's just a dumb premise. Because men are not looking at whether or not they're going to make Dre money and be able to dictate that and dictate to a woman, you're not going to take my money, give me a prenup and you leave with nothing. No, it's not about that. Like, men are not saying that. What we're feeling is we're feeling the heat from the percentage, because again, I go back to a lot of you bitches can't add and subtract and multiply and divide. You know what I'm saying? Half of 50 million is 25 million. And that's okay. You're going to fucking eat. Give her a 25 million, tell her to go on about her business. But half of 50,000 is 25,000. And I might have to move back with my mama if I'm making 50,000 and you took half of that. You know what I'm saying? Or you take my pension away from me. That means I have to plan my life a little different. If I got 50 million and you take 25, I may have to mortgage your house or something. And ain't nothing wrong with that. I mean, I feel like at the end of the day, you know, Dre got off really, really good. I mean, considering what they could do and the fact that he stays in LA. I mean, I would assume he stays in LA. He is Dr. Dre. You know what I'm saying? So he stays in LA, and the rules there are probably the worst in the world, because that's Hollywood. Like, women are probably raking dudes over, you know what I'm saying, smacking dudes over the head with alimony and child support and things of that nature. And I think all his kids are really grown, so they probably won't have a child support situation. But let's say they did. That's also a situation where it's 90% in favor of women. So 90% of the child support payments 90% plus is going in favor of the women. 90+% of the alimony payments are going in favor of the women. Like, I just find it always just disingenuous the way women always look at this shit, and they're always like, oh, y'all shouldn't be worried about that. Y'all don't even make that much money. No, nobody makes that kind of money. It matters less to Dre than it does to me, because if I don't sign a prenup, you know what I'm saying, for my $50,000, the average that men make in America, you know what I'm saying, if an average man doesn't sign a prenup, then he puts himself in position to lose half of his $50,000 and his pension or his 401k. And it's just a line in the divorce papers. It's not one of those things where you're like, well, you know, you shouldn't worry about that. No, I should worry about that, because I don't want to deal with that part, because me losing half of 50,000 is a lot worse than losing half of 50 million, even though it's more money. You know what I'm saying? It hurts me more. You know what I mean? And I always find, like I say, women are distant. They just want us to not worry about our consequences of making bad decisions with them. They don't want us to be cost benefit calculators. Like, we are that. We are that from a natural standpoint. If it doesn't make sense, then we don't deal with it. We don't want to deal with it. Nobody wants to deal with the idea of a woman taking half of their shit. You know what I'm saying? And you can do it. There are no rules that say you can't do it. And even if you sign a prenup, which sounds crazy when you make $50,000, but if a dude has a prenup and he puts it in front of you, are you going to sign it? Most women are going to talk their way out of that. Prenups are not a thing. It's more than just a financial thing. It's an emotional thing. And women are very much being disingenuous by the way that they're talking about it, as if you got to make $10 million in order to even have an opinion about a prenup. No. Don't have to have, you know what I'm saying, that. You just got to be conscious of what it is that you're dealing with. And it's hard to vet a woman. Like, look, I'm sure the 97% of women who are taking alimony payments, I'm pretty sure that not all of them said, yeah, if you divorce me, I'm going to take an alimony payment. Probably they said, I'm not going to do that. Probably they said, look, I don't want your money. I just want to be with you. Probably. They probably didn't say, the 90% of women that are taking most, if not all, of custody and custody hearings, they probably never said, I'm going to take the kids if you piss me off. They probably didn't say that, but they're doing it. You know what I'm saying? On both fronts. They're doing it. So, like, we got to get over this part where men shouldn't be concerned with things that actually affect them. I just think women want us to be crash test dummies, man. They just want us to be crash test dummies. Just marry me and shut up. And then if you do everything you're supposed to do, you won't get divorced. Well, 70% to 80% of divorces are filed by women. So, again, I'm sure that every woman that got married didn't say that they were going to be the one filing for divorce. But it seems as though 80% of y'all are doing it. So I would rather trust the numbers than to trust your ass, because likely you're lying, or at least being disingenuous at best, and nobody wants to deal with that. Why would I want to deal with a woman who's going to tell me I would never do that when I see the numbers that suggest that you are? That doesn't mean I never want to get married. It's just that I never want to have a situation where I'm caught with my pants down. You know what I'm saying? Because even with Dre, he had a prenup, but he had a prenup in LA. And I don't know the laws, but I do know this. If he had a prenup and still had to give up $100 million, that's a little different for me. I want more information on what this prenup said. Now, she didn't get any of, it didn't seem like she got any of his money making assets. Like, she didn't get like the Apple stuff or any other Beats by Dre stuff or anything like that. Like, she didn't get none of that shit. But even if she didn't get any of that shit, so what? 100 million is 100 million. I mean, like, you know, you would think a bitch would be happy. She's, you know, making, you know, well, not making money, but she gets 100 million. You know what I'm saying? And he's supposed to be paying her 50 and 50. You know what I'm saying? Which is cool. Like, get her out the way, Dre. You know what I'm saying? You know, write that check, homie, I guess. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, he got it. So it's different. You know what I'm saying? It's different. But if a dude has to give away, because again, and I'll say this, there was a conversation in my divorce proceedings that made me know, oh, it's not about how much money you make. It's about how much money she wants. You know what I'm saying? So if she wants it, she can get it. If she wants it, she can get it. And women are coming across as so, like, insensitive. It's just like, you think men work all their lives to give you half their shit, or to put themselves in a position to give you half of their shit? You know what I'm saying? When women are leaving, one of the top 3 reasons is money. And one of the top 3 reasons is money, and women are acting like it doesn't exist. It's like, nah, it does exist. Women are disqualifying men for relationships because of money. Again, I don't get mad at none of this stuff that's going on. I get pissed that women act like it doesn't exist. You know what I mean? I get mad that women act like it doesn't exist. We're sitting up here acting as if women are not filing for the most of it, and you're incentivized to do so. There's monetary incentive for you to actually say, well, I don't want to be with this guy anymore. And we're just letting that roll. Like, we can't look at these issues and look at these situations and say, you know what, maybe we should be, you know what I'm saying, filling out some kind of like legal prenuptial agreement. Like, maybe we should do that. You know, and the average woman is not signing that shit. But I feel like this: if you can swing it, you know what I'm saying, get some money. I mean, not get some money, but get your get you a lawyer together. You know what I'm saying? Y'all sit down with a lawyer and drum up. You know what I mean? Get together, cause it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, cause women are proving themselves to be what they are. You know, and you can't keep. And look, we can't keep making women virtuous again. Their nature is their nature. You know, it's like the idea of who's bad or good, the antelope or the lion. Like, is the lion bad because it eats the antelope? You know what I mean? Or is the lion good if it doesn't eat the antelope and it starves? You know, is the antelope good because it's the victim? You know what I mean? Like, or is it just nature and the lion has to eat the antelope in order for the world to rotate? And I just think that a lot of women's nature, it just is what it is, because that helps the world rotate. You know, women have to be hypergamous so that they get the best version of a dude to actually take care of them and their offspring. You know, as opposed to saying, well, women aren't gold diggers. Who says that women are gold diggers? I don't think women are gold diggers. I think women are genetically and biologically predisposed to wanting certain things. A guy that's taller, a guy that, you know what I'm saying, is stronger, a guy that, you know what I mean, that leads, a guy that has a lot of resources, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know that women want these things. It's time for women to start acting like it's true and stop trying to be virtuous in their disposition, because we know that it's not true. We have all the evidence that shows us that it's not true. You are what you are. You're not bad people. You just are who you are. And we need to start leaning on, this is what you are. You know, the numbers, and it can't be too many 90%, 80% numbers. We can't keep seeing these numbers that suggest that women are what they are and then saying, well, if men did better. No, y'all are being who y'all are being. You know? And it's like the idea that men are never satisfied and they want so much. Man, I've seen so many, you see so many celebrity women lose their fucking mind in relationships. It's ridiculous. It's like the Sierra situation, of which I hate bringing that up. But it's just like, here it is, she has the discipline to be celibate for a year or whatever, how long she was celibate. You know what I'm saying? And keep herself away from the spotlight enough to where she could just say, okay, cool, I'm going to be celibate for a year, get married to Russell Wilson. Then after getting married to Russell Wilson, have 2 of his kids, and I've been chill for the most part. Then, because she just needs to, now she's naked on the internet again, and she's twerking. Now, you got the discipline to not do that shit and probably be, you know what I mean, probably be in your best interest to do so, since you're a Christian-going woman. But now, you're a Christian-going woman, and now, all of a sudden, out of the blue, you need to do this. And it's just the same with, like, Aisha Curry. It's the same thing with, Gabrielle Union. It's like you get the man and you get to be married. And now that you got the ring and you got a kid, you know what I'm saying? And with Megan Good, no kids. But again, it's just like you married a pastor. You know what I'm saying? It seems like women just, you get the guy who people want. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure there are millions of women who will want the aforementioned guys, Steph Curry, Dwayne Wade, you know what I'm saying, Devon Franklin, you know what I'm saying, who else did I name, Russell Wilson. It's like, I'm pretty sure that there are women out here who would love to have those guys. You get the guy that everybody wants, and then you twerking. Then you want an open relationship. It's like men have to be conscious of these things because they speak to who women are in nature. And look, there have been no setup of consequences or accountability for women, because everything women do is good. You know what I'm saying? If women are twerking, you know what I'm saying, and they're a mom, it's just like, yeah, go girl, you still look good. It's like, well, hold up, you're somebody's mom. So do you want your son's wife to be twerking on the fucking internet? Probably not. I would imagine that Steph Curry's mom probably feels a little different about her daughter-in-law, you know what I'm saying, being naked on the internet. versus how she would feel about herself. You know what I mean? And maybe she doesn't feel away. I mean, she is in a situation where she has to get out here on the market, maybe. Or maybe she's actually with the guy who she was with, you know what I'm saying, after her and Steph's dad, Dale Curry, which they're the same, they got the same name. But Dale Curry, you know, her and that had broke up. But I know Dale gonna be all right. Like, Dale gonna be all right. Like, the brides are already scouting for him. You know what I'm saying? He an older dude, you know what I'm saying, with I mean, he gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? He gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? He's an older dude, but he gonna probably be all right. But, like, I don't know, man. I just feel like women, women even at the height of dude that you get. I mean, Steph Curry, I mean, I don't, how high you want to get? Jesus Christ? Jay-Z? You know what I'm saying? Like, how higher you want to be? Like, Steph Curry is pretty much the prototypical guy. I mean, like, I assume that he's a nice guy. I haven't heard any bad stories about him. He's pretty much a good guy. And he's a fucking, like, all-time great. Like, he's respected, you know? It ain't nothing better than being a man that's respected in your craft or your field, you know? And here it is, he's respected in his craft or field, and then you want to be naked and have an open, like, that shit is crazy for me. You know, and we have to know these things because even at the height, even though, like I say, they're celebrities, there's lessons to be learned. You know what I mean? There's lessons to be learned when Dr. Dre, even with all that he has, still, you know what I mean, there's a woman who will be out here and take $100 million. And not to say she's wrong. I mean, I wouldn't think that he should leave her with nothing. You know what I mean? But you need to know that even when you have a prenup, you still might have a chunk taken from you. There's a lesson to be learned there. You know? Because if you got 50,000 and a woman takes, you know, again, 10% or 20% or half of what you got, that's a little different proposition, because then that changes your standard of living. Whereas you're still in the top 1% with 50 million from 100 million or 25 million from 50 million. You know what I'm saying? You're still in the top 1%. Whereas if you got 50,000, yeah, you're middle class. But if you have to go down to 25,000, now you're low class. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different. You know what I mean? And what women don't understand is that that's what we have to deal with. You know, and we're dealing with that. And women are being insensitive because Dr. Dre ain't, I mean, he had it. I mean, they was married. I mean, and it's all these bogus ass excuses as to why this shit is okay. And I'm just like, well, nah. You know what I'm saying? This is the same group of women that claim that they're independent. I mean, I'm pretty sure Dr. Dre's ex-wife is not saying, oh, I'm a dependent bitch. I'm dependent. No, I need a man. I'm pretty sure she's not walking around saying it. I'm pretty sure that she feels as though she contributed to Dre's life in a way that she deserves $100 million, probably $200 or $300 million. You know, I'm pretty sure she didn't get what she wanted. Pretty sure she wanted more. Or else the shit would probably been null and void. It'd have probably been like, oh yeah, $100 million is good. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I can live my life. You know what I'm saying? She wanted $2 million a month or something like that. Which, I mean, whatever. You know what I'm saying? If Drake can give it to her, Drake can give it to her. I don't feel like counting the man's pockets is the problem. I think that knowing how the system works relative to how much money you have, that's more of the issue than anything. Because men don't care. We're just like, okay, cool. If I'm going to get married to you and I got to give you half, well, at least let me know what that is so that then I can prepare accordingly. You know what I'm saying? And if there's a way for me to avoid it, let me pay attention to what's out there. Because women act like paying attention to any of these things, it's just like, well, you shouldn't even worry about that. It's like, yes, bitch, because you can do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And it's plenty of times, man, like, you know, I was married before, like, you know, you think any of the things that you ever went through in your relationship, your woman said, yeah, I'm going to do that. You know, I'm going to take you to court and try to take the kids away from you. Like, no, women don't say that. What women do is say, I would never do that to you. And then they end up doing it, you know what I'm saying? To the tune of 90%. Most often, a lot of these stats show 90%. And we're finding that the more freedom that women get, the more likely that they're able to do these things. See, marriage wasn't a thing whereas women got to just leave willingly. You know what I'm saying? And look, not for nothing, I think that there should be some kind of balance. But what we're finding is that women are going to the extreme of being the ones that are filing for the divorces and also taking the majority of the resources. You know? And that's not, again, whatever. You got to find the right woman, I guess. But it seems like because of the numbers in the 90s and the 80%, that you have to find this small minority of women that won't do that to you. Divorces are ending at greater than 50%. So we got to find these women who are not doing this, and it's a small minority of women. You know, again, just disingenuous conversations that women are having following, you know what I'm saying, the Dr. Dre, you know what I'm saying, divorce. I think that the Dr. Dre divorce, though, is like, again, it's significant in the sense that, you know what I mean, he had a prenup and still had to give up $100 million. And I don't think he should have left her with nothing. You know what I mean? Is $100 million a good price? I don't know. I hope that, you know what I'm saying, he's okay and that she's okay. I mean, you know, I don't know them at all, but, you know, you never wish horrible things on people unless you would have took money from me, then, you know, a little bit of a crash or something like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, just a little crash. Something to, you know, break a leg or something like that. I wouldn't want her to be dead or nothing like that. Just a crash to let her know, like, stop fucking with me. Get off me. You know what I'm saying? You want $100 million and, you know, that's a little much. You know what I'm saying? You know, get in a crash, break a leg, scare her a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just something like that. But I don't know, man. I'm going to get on out of here, man, because I sometimes I talk too much. But, you know, got all the information at the bottom, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to sign off, man. All right, later on.